Thank you to the organizers, ICOMOS and Kaunas University. As Gani was pointing out, our purpose at the Innova Concrete project was to work on the transmission on these difficult heritage to transmit, which is modern heritage, especially heritage built in concrete. So we decided to do so by highlighting a series of buildings, of important buildings, of course in Europe, that would all of them be important, but that would help understanding why modern heritage is to be preserved. So we did so, as Gani was pointing out, with the collaboration of ICOMOS, who gave us a hand looking for the buildings, and that was translated into a web page that I'll show you in a minute. So today I will tell you a bit about this web page and the work that's been behind it, and then I will walk backwards and I'll try to transmit something which is sometimes difficult for people who try to convince other people to preserve some buildings. We try to build up a series of arguments and reasons why this heritage should be kept. That would be useful for not only for architects but for administrations in order to defend this heritage, because sometimes it is difficult to find the arguments and the reasons that will convince other people. So we've been working on that as well, and it will soon be available on another site that many other people from the project have been contributing to, and I will show you our part in that. So I might start in sharing my screen. Let me see if I can do that. I'll show you directly the web page. I think it is more useful. And let's see. Yeah. Can you see that? I guess so. So this is our web page. When I was saying that we wanted to make a selection of important buildings. Of course, all of them are, in terms of architecture and engineering, all of them are important, but we wanted to add to this also other aspects. All of these buildings are made of earth-face concrete. Of course, concrete is in many other buildings, but we thought that it was important that the buildings that we were going to show were showing their concrete. So all of them are made of earth-face concrete. They are all located in different areas of the European Union, and we have managed to have buildings in every different country. They do cover different periods of the 20th century. The start of concrete, the development of it, brutalism we were just talking about, and all the different periods that were important for concrete. They do represent, and that is important, different typologies and uses. Concrete is used for any use that we deal with in a day-to-day basis. So we have included every typology we have thought would be important. Then there was another part which was also more difficult to transmit, that we have tried to, which is to transmit what the different types of concrete that were used in these buildings, the different technologies, the different uses of concrete, the different finishes. And then all of these, I'll show you a few buildings so that you can see. So this web allows you to search through a map, to go directly to the buildings. It also allows you with a site search engine to look for buildings with different criteria, according to the uses, to the type of concrete, to many other aspects. I'll just go into one, for instance. all the buildings are located where they are, and then you can see it. Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can. I'll do it this way. So we chose the buildings together with ICOMOS. The Instituto Roja participated in that as well, and the University of Lodz. We wanted it to be a selection made by many different people, not only by Docomomo. And then that's the part that we did in Docomomo. Once the selection of the 100 buildings was made, we documented them. That was complicated. There was more than 100 buildings, and we needed to get the rights for all the images to be able to display them. So we did manage that. And then, while you have all the different information, we described the buildings in a way that it could be understood by everybody. And then that's what I was telling you about. We did a lot of work together with the civil engineer, describing the different types of concrete that was used, how it was used, how it was reinforced, what was the construction method, what were the structural types. And then we also did a description for all of these different types that could be understood by someone who wasn't an expert. So if you get on the types of the different types of concrete, there is this little window that pops up and it explains you what the technology is. We also did the work on linking them to other websites where you could find more information, sometimes more technical, sometimes more to everybody, from not specialized public. So that is the web page. You will find many beautiful buildings in many different types. We also try to reflect the different engineers important engineers that work with concrete, important architects, like here you have La Tourette by Le Corbusier. I invite you to travel through the webpage and see the different buildings. This is the site search I was telling you about, where you can add different criteria and will narrow the search till you get to what you were looking for. There's a glossary that I can't. Let's see if I make this little thing smaller here. There is also a glossary with images that explains different concrete methods, different architectural concretes in the terms of its finished, different structural types, and how these types are described. So I think it's quite a good tool to allow you to have a very broad vision of concrete. So that is the first part I was going to tell you. Since that web was made available 1.5 years ago, our main focus on the project was on the first half of the project. And since what we did, we also worked in other areas of the project, but we have been working on another part which I was telling you about, which is this which is the INNOVACONCRETE decision-making tool. This area of the project is there are many other parts collaborating, and it's a resource that is supposed to help architects and administrations when they face concrete conservation from different points of view. From the point of view of the criteria, ICOMOS is working on that, and we'll present that later on the project. But also from the point of view of guidelines, we have made a compilation of all the different charters, declarations, and documents that do talk on conservation of heritage in general, but then on modern heritage in particular. And then we have, that's what I'm going to talk about now. We have been working on a tool that will help you find reasons for conservation and arguments when trying to defend the building. We've organized it into different areas, as you see here. One is memory and belonging. Another one is architecture and urbanism. Another one is technology and society. And finally, a more broad view on heritage as a motor for economical development and sustainability. So what we have done is build a series of arguments under these main four chapters and explain them in a quite an understandable way. For instance, we won't have time to see all of them, but only so that you have an idea. What did the modern heritage bring, and how we can defend some of these buildings? If we go to, for instance, new forms and uses, this area explains you that it was important in terms of heritage, the way in which concrete was able to encompass new uses and new forms that were necessary, and it gave them a new life. Then in each of these chapters, you will find related monuments from the 100 from the 20th that do explain every single area. If I go back, it also the development of modern heritage helped build new aesthetics. If we think here, we see the picture of Le Corbusier's La Tourette. Or here with the Czech Republic, the Hodded House. It enabled to put together architecture and the art in a certain in a built form that was used by society. If I go to the next one, which is new ways of living, especially in housing, modern architecture helped arranging a new way of living, better houses for everybody. You would have, as an example, the Unité d'Habitation in Marseille, or other high-rise buildings that allowed for a better living for a wider society. It also, the integration of the arts, we have talked about that. There are more. I cannot click them now because the screen is taken by the web. Technology and society. This area explains on the importance of developments related to technology and society, like the pioneers of concrete, how technological achievements and innovation allowed for different buildings, how new typologies and the concrete architecture allowed for new uses, like here in the case of hospitals, schools, universities. They did have new programs, and they needed a new architecture, and that was possible very often thanks to concrete. Then we have also criteria related to regional development. Thanks to concrete, many important works were able to be carried out. Like here we see the works that were done in Holland to be able to maintain the water out of the country, or all the work that was done in dams to bring water to different cities, etc. Then we worked on other kind of criteria, like a method for economical development and sustainability. Here those are arguments that very often are very useful for administration. Heritage can be used as a force to bring economical development in terms of tourism, but also in terms of sustainability, and also in terms of a common culture in Europe. So if you go through all these different areas, you will find quite a thorough description on how to use these arguments and how to then use examples to support them. Then this tool also will have, well, it is, and what I'm showing you, in fact, is not open to the public yet, but it has, and those are other areas that other partners in the project are working on, like the case studies that will be presented later on today, the methodologies to approach concrete conservation, evaluation tools, solutions and products, bibliography on concrete, experts, and then finally, again, that is the part I showed you before in the other webpage, glossary to help understand the different areas.